And we're live. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Happy Taco Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesday.
It's Tuesday night, everyone. Oh my goodness. How is everyone doing? We got some friends.
There's a lot of good things that happen Tuesday night. Tuesday night is like a really good night to like listen to a playlist.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like made a really cool playlist recently that everybody should listen to.
Yes.
It's called Life is a Movie. I'm Gorgon Collective on Spotify.
Hit it up. I love that idea for that playlist though. If you wanted to like talk about it for a second. It's
like so some of the songs are definitely like songs that are probably like in movies, but for me it's not really about like remembering a movie. It's about the way that those songs make life feel like around me. Like so many of them feel like they're the perfect like montage like song, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't know if my internet's out, but
I can hear you the whole time. You did freeze visually, but
and anyway, I'm just gonna keep talking and hope my internet is good. Okay.
Yeah, you're doing good. Okay.
Well, that's fine.
So
that's great.
That was like your song of the week, I guess, too. Like your songs of the week.
That was like the segue. We're talking about my song of the week.
Yeah.
We need to talk about Bex's song of the week.
Yeah. Yes. So
mine's the whole playlist. That's what I've been listening to.
I love it. We make the rules, so we can literally do whatever we want.
Yes.
Whole playlist done. Go check it out. Mine is a song. I don't think that the band is something that a lot of people know, but the lead singer is an actor of like a hit Netflix show. So I'll say the band name first and see if anyone in the comments recognizes it. But the song's called Wild Ride, and the artist's name is Mother, but instead of an E, it's an X. Mother, an X. I don't know if anyone knows. Okay, so the lead singer is, of course, I can't remember his name now. The show You. Joe Goldberg is the lead singer of this band.
Oh, Penn Badgley.
Yes, I love Penn. Yes, so awesome. Penn's great. So Wild Ride. Go check it out.
I was just watching Dexter last night, and then a few months ago, I saw Dexter in his band. All these bands,
you did.
All these shows, all these actors, all these bands.
Yes. I love it. So that's the song. That's the band. Go check all of it. Who do you want?
One more hot promo.
Yeah, warm hot promo. Who you got? What do you got? Tell us about it. We may be experiencing a delay right now. Visually, definitely. I don't think... Oh, are you back? Internet's gonna move with you guys. There will be a few of these tonight. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay.
Perfect.
One last promo while I have the internet, and then we'll bring on our guest.
Okay. Did you share yours? I think I missed all of that. If you did.
I haven't shared mine yet. No,
okay.
I haven't. I've been frozen.
Okay, well you sound good right now.
Great. Well, I wanted to share. So everybody, I got a lot of comments on this shirt from over the years. I wear it a lot. Monster Squad, Portland, Maine. Coast City Comics. You want the one on Google that is the Coast City Comics and Funbox Monster Emporium. You want their website, and you can find fun Necronomicon puns.
Okay, we got that. Okay. It was delayed, but we got it. I think we got it all. Awesome! Go check that out, y'all. My promo.
They're the home of the Baphomoose.
This display is awesome, you guys.
I would show you more, but my computer is also having internet issues.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, go check it out, y'all.
Welcome to me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, it's so awesome.
That.
We used to, everybody, like literally everybody I know in Maine has owned that shirt at one point in time. We used to joke that it was like, that was like a requirement. If you were a Mainer, you had the Baphomet. You had the Baphomoose. Sorry, it's a Baphomoose.
Baphomoose.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yes. It's so good.
I love it.
Yes. Anyway, promo your shirt. Did you do that yet?
No.
Internet.
You're good. Nah. So I follow this person.
I don't know if it's my internet or if it's her.
Oh, we're frozen. Looks like Katie's frozen. Oh, you back? Okay. So my promo is at Punk with a Camera on Instagram. They made these awesome shirts.
Ooh, yes.
I don't know if they're still for sale. I know that they had like 16,000 plus orders. So, and they're just doing them between them and like their like roommates, I'm pretty sure, or like friends. So go support them. But they do a lot of like anti-politician, anti-capitalism merch. It's great. ACAP stuff. So love it, love it, love it. That's my promo. I think we got through it all right.
Okay.
All right. Are we ready for tonight's guest?
Yeah.
All right. Everybody, we have Shane McClelland with us. You may know him from Queer Ghost Hunters, the Q Files. We love them. We've been following each other on all the onlines for a while, but now we get to have a full hangout session with them for the hour. So let's welcome Shane.
Hey, everyone.
Hi.
Yeah.
We made it.
It's working. Yay.
We're doing good things.
We're doing good.
Yes. Like Katie,
I'm going to come in hot right out the gate, right while the internet is working.
Yes.
Hard-hitting questions. Rip them off like a Band-Aid.
Let's do it.
Shane, did you apply for Kristen Stewart's ghost hunting show?
I did, yeah. I figured, why not?
Yeah. Oh, she frozen.
There's no follow-up. That's it.
Yeah, that's the smile. I think. Oh, there she is. Are you back? I know you had follow-up for that one.
I kind of heard your response. You said you did?
I did, yeah. I mean, it wasn't necessarily the way I thought something, with like queer ghost hunting would come into my life, but I figured if the opportunity presents itself, why not at least try for it?
Yeah. Right. I just frozen the other one. Well, I'll say what she was going to say, I think, because we talked about it for a minute, but we were really interested in how you felt about the show, because, what's being advertised is like, oh, this is kind of the first type deal. And I'm like, no, incorrect, actually. And so, we auditioned as well. Like we submitted an application just for funsies. But like, I feel like this would be the fucking perfect opportunity for y'all to like work together and be like, well, no, this is what I've been doing. Let me show you. I don't know. And so I think that we were curious how you felt about the show in general and you pioneering this.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where I guess, like I said, it's an unexpected avenue or whatever. And yeah, I guess it's like in some ways it's a little frustrating, but I think overall I'm just really excited to see kind of like that segment of the paranormal, high strangeness, getting, like celebrity level attention. And, that's not something that like I could ever have given it. so I think it's wonderful, and it's, you know, it wasn't even necessarily like my idea, right? Like, I mean, we came up with the idea ourselves, but, you know, through additional research and stuff, after we were like, we should do something like this, blah, 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 it became, you know, pretty apparent that Ken Summers had written a book on the subject. And, you know, I mean, he's also in Ohio. Maybe it's just like in the water in Ohio, where we just hunt queer ghosts. But, you know, I mean, I think it's just something that's there. And I guess just overall, I think it's great that hopefully the show gets made and, you know, has people that we all know involved with it, and more people get to learn about queer ghosts.
I
Love it.
recommended you in my application.
Aww. Well, thanks. Hopefully they like counted votes or
Hopefully
something.
they don't
I don't
steal too
know.
many of your ideas.
I mean, it's I don't know. It's whatever. It's yeah.
It can't be any worse than Kesha's show, though, right?
You like mentioned that, and I was like, well, I've not watched it, so I don't know. But like, I'm not really like huge into celebrity paranormal stuff.
No.
It's like so
Come
frustrating. Like, I don't know. Like, if I was just, I don't know, had like famous parents or was like famous for something else, and then one day I was like, I want to do a show about UFOs. People were like, fuck yeah, let's do it. And you're like, okay, but we can like sit here and like spend years doing something, have like legitimate like conversations about it and experiences, and people are like, why are you so fucking weird? Like, no one cares.
Man, I feel like Katie especially understands
No
that
one
pain.
cares.
Both have like really fundamental, groundbreaking, like YouTube paranormal series in your own rights, and so I feel like y'all probably have this deep understanding.
It's like I don't know. I guess it's frustrating because it's like it doesn't really matter how good it is, but like in you know, no shade or anything, but like Kristen Stewart one day was just like, let's do queer ghost hunters, and now everyone's like, yay, queer ghost hunters, and you're like, you know, a few years ago you were all talking about my show with the name Queer Ghost Hunters, and it's like everyone forgot, but whatever, it's fine. It happens.
It's all right. It's gonna get reshared. Yeah, coming back around.
Hopefully, that'd be fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Are we ever gonna get any new episodes?
Like, I would never say never, but I think at at this point, probably not. It's just one of those things where like I don't know, like the pandemic really screwed it up, which is kind of a weird thing to have happened. But we were, you know, headed down that, you know, the like TV show route pretty hard in 2019, and then by 2020 everyone was like, you know, we're just kind of like, you know, seeing how things are playing out and blah blah blah, and it's like here we are like 3 years later, and it's just it's probably dead. Yeah. But who knows? I don't know.
Man, that's like, I don't know. I've literally rewatched so much today, and I couldn't recommend everyone else go and do it enough as well. I think it holds up, which is incredible for a paranormal show, but like given like what kind of show it is. But I absolutely love the angle and thinking about ghosts outside of this heteronormative. It seems like a no-brainer now, right? But I mean, y'all are some of the only ones to have been like, oh, like a ghost could like not be straight. Why are we interacting with everybody like they're straight? This is really strange.
And like that's how it started, right? I mean, we were ghost hunting with a bunch of like queer people, and it was like, why are we always asking like, you know, a presumed like male ghost if they have a wife and kids, when it's like they could be, you know, we're in like a theater, it's like they could be gay, I don't know, that's like a classic stereotype, why couldn't they? And it just it kind of, it's one of those things, like it spiraled. I think I don't remember where we were coming back from, but it was like a 6-hour car ride or something, and we just like discussed it the whole way. And then I think the first one where we like tried it as an investigation was at Waverly Hills, and which isn't like primo spot for finding like queer ghosts, but like tuberculosis, I don't think really like discriminated against people.
Right.
So,
Great point.
so I mean, it was like fine, but it really like, I don't know, it was just one of those things where it's like we knew we had a good idea because when we told people about it, people were like, "Wait, what?" And then suddenly
Yeah.
became extra interested in what we were doing.
Yeah. So if people have not watched Queer Ghost Hunters yet, they are not just queer ghost hunters. They are communicating with queer ghosts as well. Like the whole thing is so gay. It's so great. It's edited so fun. Like it has such a good sense of humor. It's cheeky. It's got like a lot of heart, like a lot of just like tender moments. And I think everybody needs to fucking watch it.
Absolutely. And some of the evidence is really compelling too. I mean, especially
Yes.
like, thinking about the first season and no, it was the second season, excuse me. It was the same investigation where we had like the lipstick and we had the snacks, which I love the snacks.
Such good
but
evidence.
when everything, all the lights and all the different devices turned red, you had red lipstick on, you know, it was so incredible. And it's one of those moments that we find, you know, more meaningful than like a traditional, you know, evidentiary kind of thing that a ghost hunter would be like, yeah, this is compelling. I don't know. I find that more compelling than like SLS and things of that nature. And it's something that maybe you can only feel if you've experienced, I don't know, but
Yeah, I feel like that entire investigation, and it was like 2 or 3 days, I forget exactly how long it was. But we really got to the point where it was like intelligent engagement or something. And you know, there weren't like a ton of examples of that, but it's really weird when you're like you know, like what color is the lipstick, and it's like red, and it can make any color, right? Like it can do any
Right.
color, and it's red. And I don't, the end of that, and I don't know if we ever ended up releasing the like this summary episode of what happened at Mansfield, but the like big moment was sorry, I haven't watched this in like 4 years or something. But we
Honestly,
ended up
your personal memory of it is like, exciting to
yeah, true. Like I just don't want to like I don't know, I guess like if everyone's already seen this, sorry. But we
They better have.
right? Yeah, like okay, sorry. I want to talk about myself for a
Yeah.
minute. Thank you. But no, our like engagement with this ghost, we ended up getting his prison number. Okay, which is first off like weird. Okay. And the prison number is like it's 6 or 7 numbers, okay, for like the ID, right? So we get this, and we were using like dowsing rods, okay. So it takes like an hour to get this number, okay, and we do more research after, and like can't make it up kind of thing. This number matches with like the ghost's name was like Benjamin, something like that. It matches with that. It matches with like the dates that we had figured out. It matches like he was incarcerated for sodomy. Like it explains like why he was talking to us. And it was just this like whole thing where it was like I think we had one of the most realistic experiences with an entity. And like you know we had to do the research on the back end to confirm it, but it's like how often can you actually have an experience like that and then confirm it sort of like in a way that's way too coincidental for it to be like not real.
It was real.
It was real, yeah.
100%.
I just like the first time I saw that I was just like
yes,
like,
the slow burn.
Yeah,
Those
that's
are
what everybody wants. It's the dream.
Yeah, I mean that's like why you're doing this, to try to have an experience that's like that you can kind of confirm it. I mean, like 90% of ghost hunting is sitting in a dark room and nothing's happening. So like outside of like lights flashing, like when you can really get into the history of something and figure it out, like an actual answer from research, it's pretty crazy.
It feels so like I don't know, just validating as
right. Yeah. It's validating.
Yeah. I think Katie is right about it being like the ideal like evidence, the ideal situation, because like think about how rare it is as a paranormal investigator to even be able to find like any information on who might be there. Like a lot of the stuff I do, like it's very hard to even track down like all the people that are buried in X cemetery. And so to be able to have that experience is just incredibly rare and incredibly touching. And for us to be able to watch that happen was incredible.
Well, yeah, thank you. It's just I don't know, and like we ended up having a somewhat similar experience. Lori and I did with the Q Files podcast when we did Hester Foster, and that was supposed to just be like a fun little like ghost story kind of thing, but we did it, you know, with an investigation to make it like more interesting than reading a script into a microphone, and like left the investigation and I don't remember if she called me or I called her, and it was just like this isn't sitting right with you, right? Like there's like more to this, and we got to figure it out, right? And it was like, yeah, and it took us like a month, but like the moment it like cracked, it was like the entire conversation that like we could not have like done the research, right? I mean, I guess we could have because we eventually figured it out, but like we had a conversation with a ghost, okay, that was like this doesn't line up with anything that is like the common folklore of the building. And like, why is that? Like, that's weird. Like, are we just, I don't know, faking ourselves out or something, right? But then there's literally two documents left in the world of this person's death. I know it's their like that, oh gosh, the death pamphlet, murder pamphlet or whatever, murder pamphlet, which they used to like hand out magazines at executions because there was not a lot going on apparently in like 1840. But in this, you know, it's like, I think it was 7 pages of this like little autobiography of Hester Foster. And it just confirms like everything this ghost told us. And it's just like, you like, what? And it, you know, it completely rewrote her history and like, right. And you know, it was hidden away in the, like, I think it's the Cincinnati like library, but I think it's called the Hall of Justice, which I think is just like funny.
Yep.
Yeah, like we got justice for you. I don't know.
Right.
Which brings up the Q Files. If
yes,
has not listened to the podcast, the Q Files, this is more of like it does have some sort of like an X-Files approach, right? Like it's like cases.
Right.
Yeah, kind of, right? So like it's, you know, we do like investigation. The whole point of the Q Files was to create a podcast that like other folks weren't doing, and which is, it's not to like judge anyone's methods, right? But you know, a lot of things are like interviews or like conversations or you know, like reading a Wikipedia page or something, and all that's fine and great, and some people have gotten like really famous doing that kind of stuff, and that's wonderful. But I was like, I think there's like what if you could just bring someone with you on an investigation without them being there? So we, you know, really try to have some like powerful investigations where it's very like you can feel the ambiance and like kind of like sink into the sounds of what it's like to be with us in the room. And then because we can't afford to do that like every week, we also do just like try to deep dive into some stories that are not necessarily on the surface paranormal, but kind of relate them or connect them to a way that explains the strangeness of the situation.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. I
like your dynamic that you two have too.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, she's like we're like best friends, you know. I mean, there's a substantial like age gap or whatever, but it's so rare that you just find someone who's like, do you want to do this like really weird thing? And you're like, hell yeah, let's do it. And it could be anything. And I think that's just what makes our friendship so wonderful.
Yes, that sounds familiar, Katie. That's pretty sure how
Truly.
Started.
Truly. Hey, do you want to meditate into another dimension with me tonight?
Yeah, it's like, of course.
Publicize this eventually. That was. Oh my gosh, well, Lori. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love Lori's personality. I love Lori's take
in this chat.
Oh, Katie's. Delayed.
It
Wait,
looks
what's
like I'm not
happening?
paying attention. I'm grabbing links.
Perfect. Look at you, admin. No, I was just gushing about Lori, and then I was like cracking up because I feel like Lori and I have a lot of the same takes on certain topics, so it's funny.
Probably, yeah.
Like, like what have been a couple of like your favorite deep dives that y'all have done lately?
Oh goodness.
Ooh.
I really thought, I mean, I don't know if it's lately, but our Digging Up the Dead episode, I think, really was like sort of like divinely inspired or something. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it was like doing, you know, like creating an episode and then having, and this is in like 2020, the summer of 2020, when all of the protests were happening. And it was weird to be like writing an episode and then like, you know, us like discussing it and getting ready to record it. And like all this stuff is happening. And, you know, and then it was happening like outside my house kind of thing. Like I remember like doing the editing of the episode and you could hear the helicopters in the background, like thun, 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 thun. And it was just weird talking about like the idea of like this digging up the dead stuff, which was like vampires to Emmett Till and what that means, and just kind of having it play out like around us in a way that was very real for, you know, and not like for a lot of people, but also like it was happening to a lot of people at the moment. So it was pretty cool. And then I guess the more recent one was probably like the Lizzie Borden story, which wasn't necessarily like groundbreaking to do, but like we went to Fall Creek or Fall River and like stayed in her bedroom and, you know, did an investigation there. And Fall River was frankly like one of the weirdest places I've ever been. And that wasn't like the people are strange. It's just like a weird, I don't know, it's like the vibe was off or something, but it was off for like 3 days. So you gotta like say something was going on.
Sure. First Hollow. That's so interesting.
I totally stayed in the attic.
How was that? Good? Creepy?
It was cool. We didn't have that much ghost activity like in the attic. But I did see an entity going down the stairs when I was like, I was in the room where the like couch murder took place.
Yeah.
And I was like on the floor leaning up against the couch. And so I could see the like staircase over here. And I could see like an entity coming down, and then
oh my God,
lady, she was like, "Oh yeah, that's so and so," and I was like, "Oh cool."
Yeah, I didn't see anything, and we had some like interesting interactions, but I think that the best interaction we had was we went outside to go smoke, and like you can hear something walking around the room and like touching things and going through things, and then like there's a door sound, but there was never like an entrance door sound, right? Like so something was like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, maybe someone's like hiding under the bed and it was like a serial killer and we could have been murdered in the Borden house, and then I would have finally have gotten a TV show. But I don't know, it was probably some of the creepiest evidence that I've ever had.
People love that creepy shit.
Yeah, they sure do.
Go.
Have my own Dateline special. That'd be fine.
Did it make you backbend?
It made your head spin around. Oh my gosh. That's what all those like YouTubers want us to think when they go to their do Lizzie Borden videos. So you know, shady, but am I wrong?
They're so extreme.
No.
Oh my goodness. Joanna says, I would have peed my pants. Wow.
Well, it's like unfortunate. We didn't realize it until I think we had left, and it was like in the middle of like 8 hours of recording, and you know, we were only gone for like 10 minutes, and it didn't seem like something necessarily worth listening to in the moment. But yeah, no, it was definitely, in hindsight, it was like, oh, that was creepy.
Oh, I love the footsteps.
In the moment and after, when like compare evidence and stuff is so different, right?
Yeah,
like you're like,
yeah.
I have a totally new understanding of my experience. Like it's so
for sure.
funny.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, you can't like examine all the evidence when you're there. Like you just can't look at everything and listen to everything, and you just don't have the time to do that. So like, you know, plenty of things when you get back home, even if it's a couple of days later or whatever, and you're listening to something, you're just like, that was probably like the scariest paranormal experience of my life, and I had no idea it was happening.
I know, like, yeah.
Yes.
For real.
I feel like that's how I feel doing the Estes method now. There's been like a couple instances, like my last like very traditional ghost hunting investigation was at this haunted house in Washington, and like Liminal Earth and I and a couple of friends, like we did a session in the attic and a session in the basement, and I, you know, every time you feel like, you know, did I get anything? Was this significant? And you always have that anxiety of like, this could be like a dud session.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you take off the eye patch and their mouths are dropped and are like, you know, that is one of the coolest feelings. And then watching the video back, you get to finally kind of catch up with the experience. And I got goosebumps, you know? It's great.
No, I mean, the Estes method is so like, it's so great in general, but it's so bizarre. You know, Lori and I end up doing that, just the two of us, like pretty frequently. And it'll be like, you know, one of us is asking the other one these questions, and you can't hear anything, you can't see anything. And like when you're the person, like the speaker, it's like nothing is really always making sense. Like you're like saying words or like answering questions that you don't know where it's coming from, kind of thing. But then like the person asking the questions, like that is like you kind of feel alone sometimes. And you're like, something weird's happening. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Because it's like, how does this person know what I'm like? How are they responding to this? Like, what?
And like, I kind of feel like this is why teams are like essential in ghost hunting, because like one, like we are all relying on personal experiences here. Like, ghost hunting is like 99% personal experiences, but our personal experiences mashed together come up with they end up being these like really wild and like unexplainable stories. Like
for sure.
Cool. It's kind of like a cool puzzle. Like, do you like escape rooms, Shane?
I've never done one.
Okay.
I feel like it could either be fun, or I would just be like, I'm gonna murder everyone in this room with me, because what the fuck?
I think they're like simultaneously a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was like a ghost hunter thing. Like, do we also all like escape rooms?
Maybe.
I have to try it now. I feel like this might be like an open call for us to all go to it.
I've done two.
Fair.
I'm gonna back out. Yeah. I've already done two.
She's paid her toll. I guess it's time for me.
I guess.
Oh gosh.
The question, no, like I don't really like escape rooms, but I like ghosts.
Okay. I mean, do you like haunted houses? Like fake haunted houses?
Are fun.
Right?
Yeah, I hate them. It's so like, I'm like the person that I'm like, there's someone's like, they're gonna jump out. Oh look, someone's a chainsaw. Okay. Like
that'd be so funny to film. Oh, look at you guys. Oh, I knew you were kidding. That's amazing.
It's like clearly you've never like run through the darkened halls of an old prison and thought someone was actually going to murder you, but this isn't really cutting it today.
Yeah, when in comparison. Fair point.
Speaking of location.
Yes.
What's your favorite location, Shane?
Oh, I would say, and I pretty much always say this, it's the old Licking County Jail. And it's been on TV a few times now, but it's a small location, and it seems like no matter when we go, and we've been there like 7 or 8 times now, you just get like amazing like things happening. And whether it's like honestly being like, okay, this is like weird, the entire room is uncomfortable, I want to leave, or like seeing something that is just unexplainable. Like I never leave there being like, well, this was a complete waste of my night. Like it's always just something amazing.
Cool.
Oh man,
now I want to go.
Yeah. Same.
It's also like, I mean, I haven't been in the last couple of years, but it used to be like, I think it was like $300 for the evening, which like even if you have like
That's cheap.
a small team, that's like really
Yeah.
affordable for, I mean, compared to like Mansfield, which is like, I don't even know, like $2,500 or $3,000 or something.
Right. In Waverly, it's like 100 a person, but there's like
Yeah.
a minimum of 10 and things like that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Oh, wow.
I actually wanted to like.
I still have not gone to Waverly.
I was
Oh my
gonna
God.
say, I always love talking to people about Waverly and their experiences because I have like this theory that's being fed by all of our friends that have attended. But that was like one of the first places that I, went, and it was like an hour from my hometown. And so I've been there a few times, and once was, I think the earliest was 2010. And then the last time was like 2013 or 14. But I've done both the investigation side, tour side, and then like the haunted house, the fake stuff.
Yeah.
But what I experienced in my vibe that I picked up on is like not at all what I'm hearing now from investigators that have been in the last few years. It seems to have like really escalated. And I think it's one of the places that really holds the theory and like potentially proves like egregores created by ghost hunters malpractice and things like that. So I'm curious about your experience and when that was.
So I've been there 3 different times. The first time we went, it was a small group, like probably less than 10 people or something. We had a really like fantastic experience there. I don't know that we caught anything like an EVP or something, but it was just like one of those nights where like it was just like there's a lot of good energy. Like the two like creepy things happened. One was so we were standing like the death chute, which is like, I don't know, like a million miles long when you walk down to the bottom of it and have to walk up all those stairs again. But so we're at the top of it, and you can like clearly see someone walking back and forth across the bottom. Like there's a gate there, okay, and we can see, and we're all like, oh my God, there's a ghost. And so we like, get the courage to go down there, and there's nothing there. So we, spend the next like 8 years walking back out of the death chute. And the like not security people, but like the host people or whatever they are, was like, so I just wanted to let you know, I had to call the cops. There's someone trying to break into the building. And like apparently that was just like a burglar and not a ghost. So that was pretty lame. But the other thing we had was like when you were walking, you know how there's like it makes like a bat wing kind of thing or something, like an arc, I guess. So it's like empty, and there's like, I don't even know what it'd be called, like the veranda situation, right? Like there's those giant hallways that are like for airflow. So if you were walking in that, there was almost always what looked like someone shining a flashlight back at you, but through the hallways, like for the rooms, if that makes sense. So like you would be, walking one way, and it would look like someone was walking towards you with their flashlight, but like we were all together because there was like 6 of us, and we could not figure out what it was, and you couldn't like replicate it. Was our flashlights, reflecting off of something, but there was just no way it would happen. And then you'd go, 50 feet, and all of a sudden it looked like someone was walking at you again. But the other 2 times I went, they were like some of the worst ghost hunts I'd ever been on. Like nothing happened. You wanted to just like crawl in something and take a nap because it was so like I'm sure you guys have experienced this, but like you can be on an investigation and you're like, the energy's not here. Like nothing is going to happen. And I don't know if you can like feed that into happening, like make nothing happen, or if it's just being like, I don't know, like nothing's going on. Like there's no ghosts here tonight. Sorry. But those, and it's like not a quick trip. It's a few hours for us to get there. So it's pretty frustrating to go that far and to spend, 8 hours or whatever and just be like something, anything, like roll a ball at me, hit me. I don't know, anything.
Yeah.
That does suck. That totally happens. That happened to me at Penn State Penitentiary. I drove like 8 hours to get there.
Oh no.
We didn't have much and we didn't have much footage or anything. Like they also double booked. Like there was another team there, and it was like such a nightmare.
Oh my God. I hate investigating with people I don't know.
I know.
Oh my God, no.
No.
It's so awkward.
It's so awkward. Like, even if they might be cool, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I don't know you. Please leave.
Right? Like,
Honestly, though.
personal, you do it a certain way. Even when you're making a show, like, you're not, I don't know, you don't like perform for the camera, so it's still like really personal.
Yeah, I hate when that makes you feel like you have to perform at that point. And like, I think my favorite thing is when you're with, you know, this other group and like someone from that group's trying to explain everything to you, and like, I didn't ask any of this.
No, that happened to us when we were at the Borden house. Like, this guy kept like, and I don't know what it was. Maybe we just look like complete idiots or something when we're doing stuff. Maybe, but he was like, "You guys clearly don't know what you're doing," and I was like so close, just being like, "You have no idea who the fuck I am. So I need you to like step back and leave me alone, okay?" Like, it was just so annoying. Like, I know I know more than you, so please leave me alone.
This behavior has told me a lot about you.
Right? Literally.
So don't be that person.
Yeah, right? Like, don't try to help people unless you, I don't know, they're gonna hurt themselves or something. Just like chill out.
If you're not paying to be a guide, don't try to guide.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah. I've never been double booked. I feel like I would just be so like, no. But
the place costs like $1,500 for like one, and double book you. Luckily, they like,
oh my God,
we convinced them to open up a second building, so we didn't have to share like a building with the people. So it did, and then we got an extra building out of it. We got to investigate 2 buildings that night instead of just 1. So I mean, that was like cool, but yeah, it was hella awkward for a long time, and we couldn't just like leave our stuff around because there was like other people, and like, I don't know, all evidence 100%. Is contaminated, right? Like, we can't definitely say where the other team is because we have no idea. So,
literally compromises everything. Great.
You know what Waverly kind of reminds me of? When you were talking about the flashlights, seeing the flashlights and stuff, it kind of makes me feel like it's becoming this like egregore. Like, that was like energy from ghost hunters past. Like,
right.
Yeah, totally.
People investigate it.
Yeah.
And like, one of the things that's really compelling about that place too now, I would say within the last 5 years or so, is like, from a person I've investigated with and like I trust, they had like very physical reactions to the first floor, which is where the haunted house occurs, and I've never felt anything there, to the point where like they wanted to pass out, and they ended up also having a very I would just say unsettling encounter with I guess like the darker energy. I have like a whole rant about dark energy, but like, you know, it's like very stereotypical to what they've been reporting here in just the last few years of like, oh, this thing that crawls, and it's just a very scary thing. And I feel like that's something that could be created by all of the fear over the years, and like all of the people who are more on like the thrill seeking side of things.
It's not an entity, it's just like the embodiment of fear.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it's really interesting that it's just been in the last few years that people are starting to report this, whereas like, you know, I was 12, 13 years ago now, like, it was all hunky-dory. We played ball with the boy, you know, the body shoot, we all ran up screaming when the door slammed, you know, it's like, it's fun. And it was very cool to dip your toes in something like famous like that, but local. And it's like exploded into this whole other thing now. So.
Yeah.
But I would still go back with you guys.
I mean, I would totally go back again. It's just because it's unfortunate that like when I have had the opportunities, I'm like, I'm not, if I have like literally nothing else to do, I guess I'll like go with you guys, but like, no, I'm not here for it. It's just like the last 2 times it was so bad. And it's like, not that the building or the people are bad. It's just like that there was no point in going. But and it's like, it's unfortunate because after the first time, like I had a lot of expectations for the place. And so it's interesting to hear that like, perhaps it's gotten better in terms of activity. Like, is it developing in a different way? And I'm a huge believer in this idea of like buildings, houses, things can like create their own haunting kind of thing.
Yes, me too. I experienced that a little bit with the Hinsdale house out in New York.
Same. I think we talked about that like forever ago, but like I don't even like know how to explain it anymore, but it was very much just like it wasn't there. Like it wasn't that there's like ghosts there. It was just like the house was like, I don't know, and it started. I mean, okay, so that was like our first episodes of the Q files, but it started before I even got there. It was like going to the place, you start getting this like weird feeling, and then like the energy was off in like different ways. Not like we weren't getting evidence. It's just that things weren't coming as expected, and then like locals showed up to like try to like scare us, and we had to call the sheriff and like all this like bizarre stuff that it was just like it was like overwhelming uncomfortableness or something. Like I don't know. How was your experience?
Well, what really like triggered a lot of us was so obviously I went there filming Haunt Me, and so one of the things we would interview, people that run the building. So the woman that was running the building, we interviewed the owner, and then we interviewed her son. I think that was all of the people that we interviewed, like from Hinsdale House itself. And the way that every last one of them talked about the house, like they talked about the house as if it was a thing. Like the talked about how like it was like calling to her one time, and she like casually mentioned how like it calls people back to them when it's like when it's not scheduled with like paranormal investigators and stuff like that.
Oh my God. I wish like I would have had those conversations. That was like I didn't have Lori with me. It was like a whole fucking thing. I had already decided to like record this for the show. I had never done a podcast before. It was a whole thing. But if I had those interviews, that would have made like so much more sense to like everything that we were experiencing. That's crazy.
Oh my God, it's so weird there. Like I definitely feel like the Hinsdale House like slurps human energy like a straw.
Yeah.
Like it's just fed forever.
For sure. And we like, I don't even know, like it, first of all, I love that you can have like a campfire while you're doing a ghost hunt. That is just like, that should be standard like across the industry. But like a s'more as break time, like come on. But anyway, like going into like the woods and like seeing the I can't remember what the tree is called, but like the tree that has all the ornaments on it and stuff is first off like Blair Witch nonsense. Okay, that is just not what you're fully expecting to see. But then also like walking around the lake and stuff. I don't know. Just the whole property it's got something going on. Like
my
it's
first
just
ghost experience was at that lake. I was
walking
around during the daytime while people were like doing their interviews, and I had a ghost experience down by the lake.
I totally believe it. We didn't get anything like that would engage with us, but we had, I mean, I guess it was like engaging with us in terms of like random things were happening, and there was that like, I call it that like feeling when you're like something's here, but we never got like a recording of it or like an intelligent response with like lights or like any of the devices or anything. It was just kind of like a general consensus that like there's definitely something here, and it's like I don't know, leave me alone. Like I'm sitting by the lake, leave me alone.
Oh, now another place.
Oh, you should totally go to Hinsdale House. It's fantastic.
It is fantastic. We should probably all just plan to go.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun.
That would be.
Did you sign the wall? Because I signed the wall because I was like all these famous people and me.
Didn't. So I was there with the Newkirk, and the owner was like, "Oh, please, Newkirks, will you sign the wall?" And then they did, and he didn't invite us to sign it, so none of us signed it.
Oh my God.
I don't ask for permission for a lot of things. I'm just like practicing, like, oh, I had no idea. I'm so sorry.
Oh, yes.
I wish I could have.
Damn. Next time we will go and we take our own Sharpie. Just. Oh my gosh. So we're like creating this list together, so I feel like we should ask, like, what are some places that are kind of on your list now? Like, I gotta hit up in the next year or two.
Oh man.
You're a podcast that does this, so I know you got a list.
I don't know. I still want to. I feel like I've been to a lot of places I want to go to, and then like the ones I haven't been to are like big asks, right? So like I want to do some kind of like Civil War battlefield thing, but not like the normal like stuff. I want to talk to like a trans ghost or like, you know, like a masculine presenting lesbian ghost, like these, you know, we don't really know, but like women who were portraying themselves as men so they could fight in a war. And I think that is just like weird, right? Like you probably weren't like that excited to get shot at. You saw it as an opportunity to like be your authentic self kind of thing, right? And that might result in your death, or you might just get to live forever as a dude now. And so that seemed like, you know, a pretty good gamble in the 1860s, I'm sure. And then the other one I really want to do, and I don't know if it'll ever happen, but is the Upstairs Lounge in New Orleans. And for anyone who doesn't know, that was a gay bar in the 70s and prior to that, but it was firebombed. And because it was a gay bar, like there was bars on the windows and the door and everything, so no one could get out. But it kind of goes with like when we're doing queer ghost stuff, like this idea of these like safe spaces to be your authentic self. And that would have been like one of the only ones we could really explore that was a safe place destroyed. So usually like we're talking to entities that like might be there because they could be themselves here and it was like a positive experience. And this would be a situation where like maybe they're still there because it was a positive experience, but they also like possibly actually died here too.
Right.
Yeah, that's an interesting one to figure out how to navigate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the last like show that did it was I think it was Ghost Adventures. Or maybe it was Ghost Hunters. I don't know. I don't remember. It was one of the big shows, but that was like 10 years ago or something now. I don't think they are open to the public. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. I love the safe space stuff. I love like
yes, that's so important.
Yeah, and like thinking about like, no, queer people have always existed, and so this is just a really cool way to reaffirm that, but with our own weirdo spin. So
yeah, for sure. And I also think like I think like what is interesting about like safe spaces is outside even like the LGBTQ angle is that whatever it is that ghosts are, like whatever we're perceiving that to be, it seems to respond well to a safe space.
Yeah.
Like it's like if you're nice, then they talk to you kind of thing. If they're comfortable, then they talk to you. And it's really kind of like reframed like how we engage with the paranormal overall.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think part of that too is I'm a huge believer in like gifting and offerings and approaching things like in a non-transactional way. I think that it's something that we all share, and maybe I think I got inspiration actually from Katie on that end, but it's like, you know, when you come and you come with reverence and you're just like, this is for you. I don't expect anything in return. If you'd like, here's what I'd like to see up to you kind of thing. Because I think all too often we just see like demands and this is my space tonight, bitch. And then like that kind of perspective. It's really nice to see the softer side and the more welcoming side. And it's often the side that gets more slow burn results and more like meaningful outcomes. So
for sure, it's like once you stop making demands or asking them to like perform tricks for you, then you start getting like really fantastical things happening that, you know, you can't explain. Maybe it's not even like captured evidence, but you're having this experience that is like is paranormal.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Yes. Well, I think that everyone here with us watching, you know, agrees to some extent of like, we're kind of here because we want something a little further than what we're being shown in the mainstream, and like why we're all creating this content and these projects. It's because we are having life-changing experiences in this realm, and like only a few people are talking about theirs. And so the more that we can share each other's like life-changing experiences in the paranormal, it becomes more about this like euphoria and this synchronicity and this life path, instead of just like I caught some cool shit on camera, which is also fun. But
Yeah.
that's
No,
kind
and
of collective.
I so like I guess like add on to that, it's when you're doing it, at some point it has to become not about getting like evidence, right?
Mhm.
I One of the most paranormal mystical experiences that I've had was doing the I don't remember what the episode was called, but it's the Lincoln Ghost Train, and we're just like out in the edge of Columbus, walking around along these railroad tracks, and you start getting that like the creepy feeling or whatever, and we're talking about, is that just us being like in the dark, like are we gonna get murdered kind of feeling, or is something happening? And that's when like there's very clearly like a smoke stack of clouds moving across the tracks in front of us, like as if there were a train. And it was like that was when I first began to like believe in like this idea of like actually believe in the idea of a phenomenon, like synchronicity kind of stuff. Like you can hear people talk about it, but actually like asking the universe to like give you a ghost, and it's like, weren't you looking for a train? And like I don't know. I think that like it mentally, it moves you beyond, I guess, like asking for like parlor tricks of the paranormal.
Right.
Yes, expanding paradigms.
Yeah.
Always like when you're making a show that there is that challenge of like presenting evidence that is also something that other people can enjoy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like it's just the way that like you guys just don't go about it so aggressively. It's just like it feels natural, and so it feels like an instant trust is happening, which is why you're getting great evidence.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that's, I don't, I guess I wish more people would try it that way, right? Instead of, going in screaming about demons or whatever. Just try
Oh,
having a
demon.
conversation, right? It's never a demon. Just like stop.
Right. Stop. God.
Said it here first.
Yeah.
Say it more and more. We need to keep it.
If you have hate mail to send about that, please send it to me. I would love to laugh in your face.
Please.
Perfect. Well, I think we are about at that time. The hour has flown by. But for a lucky few who are in Katie's Patreon, Luminal Earth's Patreon, Shane, do you have Patreon or anything where you could share? We have a bonus that we're going to film just for that audience. So if there's anyone in private that you can share that with.
I don't believe anyone would pay to hear me talk.
Oh, you would be surprised. They would.
Oh, goodness. Well, we have that. We'll be filming that here shortly. But thank you so much for coming on, Shane. Where can people find you, keep your latest work?
Yeah, you can find my personal social media under McClelland Shane. So my last name and then my first name. And you can find my podcast, The Q Files, under the Q Files Pod, on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or just like follow us on Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you want to like see like the old content from back in the day, you can find Queer Ghost Hunters on YouTube.
You do. You
Yes.
do want to. Good
Absolutely.
content.
Fantastic content. We love Lori and her first date with a nun. Just gorgeous.
Oh my god, right?
I wonder what base they got to. That will stay between them. Okay, thanks guys for coming, and for patrons, we'll see you in the recording later. Bye guys.
Bye everybody in the chat.